Hi guys. This really isn't ideal in here. It would sound like a really good idea, but there you go. Peter, g'day. Dudley, g'day. David, hello. Casual Steel, good morning. Rustanox, g'day. Frank Ward, g'day. Dan, hello. Team Biscuits, g'day. Yeah, I'm sort of... This is particularly uncomfortable, to be honest. Let's see how I last. Stephen Lang, good day. I guess everyone can hear me. I'm in the library, which is sort of not working for me because there's no like sitting down space here. Kevin, hello. I'm okay. I could do with an afternoon's nap still, but I'm doing okay. I'm way better than I was last week, which wasn't good. This isn't doing it for me really. I thought I'm going to sit down here and probably sort out some books while we're here. But don't know how that's going to go because I can't really get next to the camera and reach around it, and I'm sort of too old for this sitting on the floor thing, unfortunately. It's sort of how it is. And probably a slow, like a bench and a reading bench here would be awesome. And a stool, something like that in the corner. Don't know if we're going to have room for that, but anyway. As you can see, I've sort of got the camera attached to a board, which is average because there's nowhere else to put it. But it's starting to come together. There's a crap load of it, as you can see. Model engineer in particular is starting to come together. And there's a lot of other books here too that I thought we might have a bit of a look at, but whether anyone's that interested in them, I'm not sure. There's stuff all over the place, to be honest. We'll get organised in a minute and a bit sort of like where we need to be. There's a gap there where there needs to be a bookcase, which there isn't yet. Oh crap. It sort of seemed like a good idea. But our GoPro mount come unloose. There we go, try that. There we go. There is a fair bit of paper here. It's a bit out of hand completely. That's only one wall. We've got... Oh, that's sort of half comfortable, so we'll live with that. Finding stuff that I've got to find a home for or get rid of or something, I don't know. It's a lot of ephemera and a lot of magazines, a lot of books, things like that. Here's a used Castrol 2-stroke petrol motor oil only decal. Can find a use for that, or a place to put it, or somewhere to keep it till next time. this? Volume 215. 215. 227. That's volume 227. That's the current one, isn't it? Is that right? Not quite, but that's what Model Engineer looks like now. 227, I think, is the one that we're working on collecting at the moment. They're volume 215. I don't know how many of them I've got. I guess it's in the database. But that's 215 is 2015. It's a few years ago. So there's all this really useful stuff that seems a pity to get rid of, but is increasingly less used in my life. If you can see that, probably not. Technical information: Citizen Quartz Crystron multi-alarm memo chime, caliber 9100. Basically a service and repair book. There's a stack of them. Occasionally that's pretty useful, but it takes more effort at the moment to find it than to actually do the job usually. So that's for the old memo chime, which looked something like that back in the 80s. So very useful. So on, so forth. There's a couple of additions to Garden Railway from years back. There's probably a stack of them. Yeah, there is. Could probably toss them really, or give them away to a friend. So, what's everyone up to? Morning, morning, David. Morning, Mats. This is an illustrated catalogue. I'm going to move you back here. Sorry, guys. Hope that's all right. Dan, they're yours if you want to come and get them. This is a Stephenson's Model Dockyard catalogue from the 20s. There you go. That's pretty cool. All the really cool stuff that Stephenson's Model Dockyard sold. Steam fittings, regulator handles, cranks, horizontal and vertical pumps, locomotives. Look, batteries, Leyden jars, capacitors, switches. Check out the switches. What's number 913? I hate that. No, there it is. It is there. That's an ebony wall rose, of course. There. Light switches, everything, every modern model railway needs. Terminals, telephone buzzers, magnets, bits for dynamos. Would have liked to have had a couple of £100 to take to Stephenson's Model Dockyard back in the 20s and buy things, but I guess now everyone would have thought that. Everyone needs to order an aluminium rocket launcher set for a fishing boat. It's important. There's November 1990 issue, the Citizen Quartz Parts Catalogue. Really jolly useful if you're dealing with that old stuff, but I'm not nowadays very much, so I don't know about that. There's the book for Princess Marina. Look at that. Don't know if anyone's as interested in this as I am, but I like looking through stuff in them. This is Cassell's, as in the publishing house Cassell. We got no focus at all here, sorry. Book of Sports and Parts Times Illustrated. Now this book here, in 16 parts, there was a date on it, I think, but it's pre the return of last century, I think. Lots of very cool stuff that you could do as far as parlour games and useful things that entertained small people and those that went to parties and things. Origami and lawn bowls and 1,000 different games. Anyway, it's another very useful book. I never understood people with obsession with watches. I haven't either, really, but anyway, those 80s digital watches now fetching a bit of money. They very much are, and we still see them come through, but very, very unlikely I'm ever going to pull one apart to the level that I might need a parts book, because parts aren't available anyway. Here's a copy of Mechanics in Miniature by Percival Marshall. Gosh, I'm out of focus. Why are we not focused here? Hang on. Is that better? Not very much. There's a cool picture in this book. I don't know if there is any cool pictures in here. Notable open that is the Model Engineer exhibition. Secure patient enthusiast waiting for the opening of the doors. There you go. It's probably the low light. It is a bit dark in here. We might have to fix this at some point if we're going to actually do anything. So there's hours of reading here. Not 1,000% sure very much of it is of any use to anyone. This book that's never been bound, so obviously I found what I was looking for and that was it. Hairspringing. The manipulation of new and old springs by the watch repairer. The treatment of tangled springs, making isochronal curves in flat and Breguet springs, pinning, etc. Published by Hazlitt and Walker, Chicago, 1908. The American book on hairspringing. So that's a very useful and particularly obnoxious book, to be honest. Hey John, thanks for the update. ISO standard. Gosh, I don't know how to change the ISO. What's this button do? Hang on. Stand by. Maybe that's better. Maybe we could live with it like that. I don't know. No, that's probably not particularly good. Not that button. That's a bit much. Okay. Hi, Chirpy. I don't know if that's really the answer either. Let's go back to normal. Yeah, no idea how to do that. I'll try and keep current with you guys because I'm going to end up just looking at things here and getting interested in them. So there you go. There's a book on hairspringing. Very useful. There is a maintenance manual for caliber 6312 Longines, which was basically a Bolivar Acrotron tuning fork mechanism, the same as the Amiga F500. So there you go, useful information. Not. I don't know why I even have this. There's a Citizen Genuine Material Price List, 1980, suggested retail price. Is it 1980? Is there a prior date? November 1975, that is. There you go, Genuine Material Price List for Citizen watches in American dollars, which isn't particularly helpful. Stuff hasn't really gone up. A whole lot. It's probably doubled. Leaf spring, every kind, for $3.90 for 5 pieces is about what I would expect to pay for them now. So I don't know. Plastic glasses, odd shaped, with tension ring, $2.60. That's about what they would cost now. Round flat crystal glasses without ring, $5.50. Things haven't changed very much. I would say you'd still pay about the same amount for a Citizen glass. Anyway, there you go. Bizarre. Most of this is collector stuff rather than being useful. Look, some of it I use. Some of this watch repair stuff, yeah, when I have to do a job, I dig it out. But it's not particularly often nowadays. See, I haven't seen one of these for 30 years. This is a Citizen Quartz Christotron 8600, 8500. Still a current watch, but 8500 mechanism hasn't been made for a crap load of time. Years. They haven't made a watch that actually had like a service book for 25 years for a mechanism. Yeah, 85XXX Crystron. Pretty good mechanism. I had to find a stem for one of these the other day for a more modern solar powered Citizen, which obviously had the same stem. It was the same cross reference, but never had a Hope anywhere in Australia. Anyway. appears to be a lot of blank paper, is it? What do we got here? Building the Haynes hot air engine. No, this is a bit interesting. Look at this. Check this out. Probably no one's particularly interested. This is from Model Engineer, January 2000. Now, I'm not sure why I have this photocopied, except that I was probably going to make one. This is Home Shop shadow projection machine for the workshop. So there's a set of drawings and instructions to build that. Probably not going to happen. A lot of Swiss stuff that I still use. I mean, ESA 9150, I mean, that's a long shot to say I still use that, but they still turn up occasionally. The 2450 is still pretty current. It's the ETA, it's the later one. And the 2550, which is also the automatic that's still used quite a lot. Still both fairly common mechanisms. They're still around, but these are, there's the 1902, they're getting on a bit. I wonder if there's a date on any of these. Remember when service manuals for watches used to be these fancy, full-coloured, awesome brochures, but they're like rocking horse dung now. Anything for ETA is almost impossible to get, and what you do get a black and white printout sometimes. If you're lucky to get that, to be honest, with a lot of it. Still finding Garden Railway magazines. It's a book for Paddy, but Paddy hasn't turned up. Foxburg's Faber Coblin, g'day, DJ. G'day, Raymond. There's a booklet called 400 Years of Watchmaking, a historic exhibition. With a lot of very cool coloured pictures. So the whole library thing is completely out of hand, and some of it's going to get tossed and some of it's going to get sold. Some of it I don't know what to do with. I picked this up, a couple of these up in, I don't know whether it's Camden Market or in Covent Gardens, something like that. Someone was making them. This is pretty amazing, actually. I had to have a couple of these, and I gave a few of them away to friends. But this is just a greeting card. See this? How cool is that, eh? For pop-up. That's pretty awesome. be very cool to make a pop-up like that out of 26 gauge or something, but I'm imagining that it'd be kind of a bit sharp, a little bit dangerous, but it's a bit of a job in it. If someone wants the job, it'd be pretty cool. Imagine the dies that went into that card. Yeah, it's pretty crazy actually. Some editions of, well, I've got drawings and everything for that. And making the Sudgen Special diesel compression engine. Don't know where, but I reckon I've got drawings here for it somewhere. Here's a book about a clock I built once, and I wouldn't mind having another go at it, but I don't know if I'm going to live long enough. How to Make an English Regulator Clock, my workshop edition by John Wildley. It's a bit of a mess. I could probably get a new reprint of that at some point if you're going to make another one. But it's all there if you want a copy of it. It's probably for sale, because otherwise I'll hang on to it forever. There's some more of volume 227. I reckon they were die cut, to be honest. Paul, do I have George Daniels' watchmaking book? Yes, I do. Depending on which one. They're all worth getting. His book, Watchmaking, is excellent. Oh, gosh, I've got no idea where it is. It's over there in the bookcase somewhere. Watchmaking is an excellent volume on everyday watchmaking processes and practices. It's the companion volume, I guess, to the ClickSpring series of videos. I shouldn't say that, but I believe that it's probably most of ClickSpring's videos rely very heavily on George Daniels' watchmaking for inspiration and technique and success. So it's a good book. It's inspirational. It's fun to look through and look at the pictures. It's a lot of crazy detail and unnecessary or impossible expectations. It's a book of impossible expectations, and as such, it's definitely worth having on the. If you can get it now, it's a bit cheaper. I think it's been reprinted a couple of times now, and it is a bit cheaper to find. I know when I bought my copy, it was out of print for about 5 or 6 years, and it cost me a fortune. But that was back in the 90s. Maybe they are water jet or die cut or something, but it's pretty fine work. But Daniel's watchmaking and Daniel's escapement books are very, very good. Little bit more heavy and theoretical, but the escapement book is a good second one. His book on Bentley cars is also fantastic, but no one sort of knows much about that if you can find a copy. But I would say that most of ClickSpring's knowledge base comes from Daniels, and I would say that most watchmakers or clockmakers that you'll see on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube or anywhere else have a very, very similar base, knowledge base. So if you're interested in that, that's the book to get. Here's a set of drawings from Aero Modeler or something. For Chris Gold's AFC's Interceptor. There you go. What a machine. Very cool. Clockwork, it seems. Or rubber. Rubber powered. 1939. There you go. Not sure why I have that. One of life's mysteries. There's a set of drawings for the Sudgeon Special. Slightly more in clue why I have that, but I'm not sure if there's a lot of point in it. They would both look... Hey, Paul. They both look good framed, but I've run out of wall space at some point. And I've still got stuff that I want to frame. Now I've got no idea where I'm going to put it. Some loose pages. Radio control manual. Probably Dad's black book, engineer's black book, I think. One in every room in this place. Not sure I want hundreds more. Thanks, Stu. I have another one of those Castrol 2-cycle motor oils transfers. If anyone's doing up a 2-stroke bike, English bike, that might be of use to you. So anyway, that's my library coming together. There's piles of books here everywhere. Like it's completely and utterly out of hand. Like that wall is wall-to-wall bookcases as well. It's a pretty good book, Dan. You should... I hope it turns up. A set of drawings for LBSC's DIAC. There you go, 260 and 2.5 inch gauge. That would be a very, very nice build one day, but probably not going to live long enough to do that. But there is a set of drawings there. There's a set of laminated drawings from Popular Mechanics or something for a little single cylinder steam engine, vertical steam engine. got no idea what's here, to be honest. There's a set of drawings for a Bolton number 7 marine engine. There you go, very useful. What we have here is a repair manual for a Leica C series, A, B and C series rangefinder camera, which I've done several of them up over the years. Probably unlikely to ever do another one. But looks a bit like that. And this book that's about 3/4 of an inch thick is everything that you would ever possibly need to service that particular series of cameras. So Leica had pretty good, or used to have pretty good books on servicing stuff, but you've got to be keen. Yeah, the drawings are put aside for you there, Dan. I should have got them photocopied tonight. I was down at Officeworks. Look, here's a printout of Stefan Gottswinter's dial test indicator holder. We all sort of had a bit of a go and made one of those. So this is the rest of the Leica book. There's videos on a lot of channels about those, but there's a set of drawings there, and I think Stefan's still got them somewhere to download if you're interested. Gosh, no Marmite. Yeah, DJ, really, I did a couple of those Leicas up and a couple of Canons too, which were very, very similar. New curtains and new shutters and full service and new rangefinder bits. Very, very current, good quality camera still from the 50s and 60s. Probably they're out of my price range completely nowadays, but that's the way to buy one, is to do one and get one and do one up. Oh gee, goodness gracious me. There's a set of drawings for the American Coal steam fire engine. If anyone's looking for a project, just hit me up. Hit me up. And there's a set of drawings for Bob Shaw's Silver Bullet, twin cylinder petrol. Gosh, I got a lot of junk, just so we know. Have fun swapping wheels. Thanks for hitting in. Look at this. The Toy Army 45 Auto. There you go. I'll get flagged for sure. Have my channel taken down for this. But cutting instructions and things to make a wooden rubber band powered 45 Auto, which every kid needs. Can't believe I actually have a copy of that. I don't know how I obtained that, but anyway, we have it. Yeah, Dan, I wouldn't be surprised if any of us did. There's a booklet on the Bolton and Watt steam engine that's at the Powerhouse Museum, or used to be the Powerhouse Museum in Sydney, which was one of the earlier and biggest non-rotative beam engines in the world, to be honest. But yeah, there's a booklet there on it. It's very useful. There's a copy of an old E.J. Winter O.B. Bolton catalogue. Not sure why I have that. You better take these, I reckon, Dan, if you're coming up. Set of drawings for, oh gosh, a 16mm D. Whitten steam tram. Very useful. Here's a set of drawings to make a firing model of a Napoleon field gun. No, it's not. It's a bit more complicated than that, I think. Why I actually have this, I'm not sure. But it's there if you want to make a firing model of a Napoleon field gun. Probably from one of the American magazines. Home Shop Machinist, something like that. Anyway. There's a copy from probably Popular Mechanics or something by the look of it. Model marine engine requires no castings. Wow, everyone needs a dust storm. Sorry about that, David. That doesn't sound like fun. There's some weird weather going on. They set articles to make a 1/6 scale de Havilland Cirrus Mark 4, Mark 1 4-cylinder aero engine, which everyone needs. So hit me up if you're looking for a project. There's another little beam engine from steamengines.org. I don't know if that website's still up or not. There's a Philip Duclos Maverick engine. Some instructions for that and drawings. Can't believe I've hoarded all this paper. That'll be the drawing for the Mark 1 Cirrus. doubt whether you will get castings. What's the Sahara sand coming from? Is there a wind over there, or is there a storm, or what's the story there? Here's a patent for Lombard's ring saw. How cool is that? Never seen one, but it's a ring saw, absolutely, which is much like a scroll saw, only operates in one direction. That's very cool. Stuart Wobbler. Yeah, it's sort of, it's the front of the drawer, put it that way. It's got to the front of the drawer. I should, probably not a big deal to finish it, but there you go. My workbench. I haven't been in the workshop this week at all, like even a little bit. More model aeroplane drawings. Pretty sure I don't need them. There's Model Engineer's workshop drawings for a tailstock turret. Pretty confident I don't need one of them either. Not sure why I have that. Most of these are just drawings. I've got no idea what's in here. Not even the slightest. There's a report for a surface plate. Pump for walking beam, Stirling engine. Jerry Howe's Ringbill Stirling pumping engine. Drawings for. So it's all there. All you need to do is say, hey, look, I'll take that. Oh, interesting. Maybe they were chirp. I'll have a bit more of a look at that. Doesn't sound like a particularly fun thing to do, but there you go. So that's one big pile of papers that we've gone through. I don't think I've sorted any of them out, but we know what's there. Fairly unconcerned whether any of the things in that pile get made, but there you go, I'll file them somewhere. Sorry about staring at the same bookshelf. We'll move over here. I'm here on the floor, and it's kind of a bit awkward moving the camera around or actually doing anything in front of the camera, and I'm sorry. Book called The 7th Edition View Camera Technique by Leslie Strobel. Very excellent volume. and fairly hard to get, I would say, but anyway, I have a copy of it. A set of very bad pencil drawings on note paper for a small farm engine of some sort that I've obviously gone to the trouble of measuring up. Rangley, a main lake steamboat, part 2 deckhouse pilot. There's the drawings for the main lake steamboat. Very useful. Some more drawings from that set. What appears to be a photocopied pile of instructions for LBSC's Titfield Thunderbolt in 3.5 and 5 inch gauges. I must have been a bit serious about actually starting that project once. It must have been a long time ago, or someone was. Anyway, I have a copy of them. Here's a copy of Scientific American. 1853. There you go, just November number 15. On Collins patent duplex valve motion. That's very, very cool. And obviously that took my eye at some point. Collins variable cut off valve gear. Lots of very cool things you can make models of. I'm usually supplied with about half enough illustrations to do it. So there you go. That's Collins patent duplex valve motion if someone wants to look it up. This is for sale, this book. No one seemed real interested. I listed on Marketplace, but no one seemed particularly interested in it. This is the first series of the Coach Builders Atlas of scale drawings. Everything's in here. Basically, they're scale drawings for just about every known to man horse-drawn vehicle. Everything's there. From hearses to drays to sulkies to baker's vans to ice cream vans to omnibuses to stagecoaches to yeah, you name it, it's there. So if anyone you know wants a horse-drawn vehicle project, there's a book there full of scale drawings. You can pick something out. Of course, there's woodwork books too. I guess this is a style of furniture that I was a bit passionate about for a little while, and I made quite a few pieces, but it's a long time ago. There's David Rapley's 100 Years of Racing Bicycles. If you're interested in messing with watches, this is a pretty good little book. This is Watches, Adjustment and Repair by RJR or FJ Cam. This is a pretty good book from foundation level stuff through to actually getting watches running and in beat and sort of positional and stuff. But it covers in some depth with some really good pictures. Everything from setting up a workshop through to actually sorting out balances and springs and things like that. And it's probably one of the better little books on watch repair. So if anyone's looking through piles of books thinking that they should have them and they see that, which is Watches, sorry about that, Watches, Adjustment and Repair by FJ Cam. That's a pretty good, double M. That's a pretty good little book. I recommend that one. This one is a BHI text, Conservation of Clocks and Watches. It was actually reading on the reading list for the technical grade BHI when I did it. It's not a bad little book. It's a bit dated. It's got quite a lot about conservation and restoration, stuff like that, and the business of restoration. So anyone who's interested in watchmaking books, that's probably, if you can get one for about $5, grab it. But apart from that, that's where I'm at. This is Donald D. Carl's Watch and Clock Repairing. This used to be around everywhere. Like, you used to trip over these on eBay, people trying to get rid of them. I don't know if it's still the same, but it's not a particularly useful book. Like Daniel's book would be far more useful than this. This shows very little of just about everything. Not really in enough detail to actually use it as a reference. So yeah, it's kind of a cool book to read through and see how a watch goes together and the basics for repairing them. But it's outdated to the extreme, and it seems to only have sort of providence to a very, very narrow band of watch history, like 30s and 40s and 50s. Modern stuff's really, there's nothing you would ever deal with in this. Anything earlier than that which is worth restoring, it doesn't really cover. It's got quite a lot on Smith's alarm clocks, which no one in their right mind would restore a Smith's alarm clock nowadays. Anyway, I don't know if that's particularly interesting to anyone. Well, that's pretty cool. I wonder if it's the same Collins Chirpy. Be interesting to check that out. Anyway, that's... Oh my gosh, I think I'm atrophied. I'll move this back. We look at a different part of the bookcase now. So there we go. That's what I've been doing this last week while I haven't been feeling particularly good, I guess, is going through and sorting stuff out. There's a lot still to be done, and model engineer, I'm getting there. We start, gosh, where did we start? We start up there with volume 1 and we go through to sort of about volume 100 on those two bookcases. So there's a lot missing in there. And then the next one we start about volume 100 and go through to 227, and there's not so many missing there. I think I've got well over half of them, put it that way. It's kind of a bit crazy. Cool, Stuart. Anyway, that's something a bit different tonight. Sorry to bore you to tears, because some people just aren't interested in old books, and I apologise for that. I sort of... Hey, who wants to look at this? Hang on. Also, you guys who collect Model Engineer, if you can find this, if you can find this booklet, grab it. Guy Lortard is an American guy, and he spent most of his life putting this together, probably. It's a very excellent reference if you're looking for projects in Model Engineer. So that's something that you should have. I'm not sure you would call it motivation. Sitting down on the backside in here and looking through old magazines is sort of counter-motivating, actually, to be honest. Let's move this back. Tip this over. Sorry, guys. It's my feet. And just about everything else you could possibly imagine. This blue folder. Poor thing. It's a bit of a mess, to be honest. Is the course manual for British Horological Institute Technical Horology, which I completed in a long time ago. I can't remember when I did that. This is basically the syllabus and what's involved in actually doing it. So if anyone wants to sit down and do the BHI distance learning course, it's a fairly expensive sort of a course, but it's very comprehensive and it's an actual real course, so you'll come out of it with some technical skills and things like that. But all the class projects and things are in here. And all that sort of stuff. I guess a lot of it's done online now, but that's the BHI Open Learning Course in Technical Horology, which may or may not be of use to someone, to be honest. I'm wondering whether I want to keep it or not. So there you go. Crap load of stuff here. It's just paper, and not sure how much I really want to keep. And there probably will be some offloading at some point. It's so many books that I'm not sure whether I want to keep. It's a book of Charles Kingsley's poems. By gold leaf bound and all that. Someone's obviously treasured that at some point. I'm so far doing okay. It's a book called Magneto Simply Explained. Never learned anything from that. Donald D. Carl's Watches and Their Value, which is another one of his useless books that sort of never had a lot of use, to be honest. There's Penman's Practical Clock Escapement, which is actually full of mistakes. As far as a clock escapement book, it's probably not the one to go to. If you're interested in clocks, it's probably an interesting reference to have. But to be honest, I don't think it's particularly reliable. It's a book called Farm Tractors in Colour. Anyone want a book called Farm Tractors in Colour? I've got no idea where that came from. Farm Tractors in Colour sort of does. There's not a whole lot of colour involved, to be honest. Oh yeah, there's a Frolic. And a Ford prototype, and an Ivel, and what appears to be an international, it's a Mogul, International Harvester Mogul, and a fairly early Saunderson. There's a Dear Little Lambs Bulldog. Brian. There you go. Useful book. Farm Tractors in Colour. Why do I have that? You got no idea what that is. It's a British photo, a British Journal Almanac, 1953. Lots of cool ads. A lot of information that's not particularly useful nowadays. I used to absorb all this stuff pretty heavy, but there's not a lot of use for that now. There's Henry Greenley on Model Engineering, which is a good book full of nice projects that never ever run. If anyone sees this book, right, I believe this was written by a local guy here, but this is a really good read. It's about an oak tree, history of oak tree in the UK. Really excellent book. Really enjoyed that. I guess it's written as a work of fiction, but it's 9 centuries of an oak tree in the UK. Someone will end up with this, and it won't be me. Here is a copy of The Shining Ones, a complete, revised and updated World's Most Powerful Secret Society revealed by Philip Gardner and Gary Osborne. The secret priesthood I'm not making this up. The secret priesthood that controls the world. Everything you have held to be true will be challenged here. I haven't ever been challenged. I may have read it at some point. The Shining Ones, Illuminatis, illuminates the millennia of mysteries to track the initiate's path through its history. Reveals traces of their influence in all major world religions, etc., etc., etc. If you are ready for the truth, read on. There you go. There should be an underline function on this screen. If you are ready for the truth, read on. There you go. I reckon Dan needs to read that. It'd be good for him. Take care, Chirp. Good to see ya. So, DVD operational manual. I'm going to chuck that right now. There's Burgess on coach building. There you go. Very useful. I guess everyone's read that. Longitude, the story of a lone genius who solved the greatest scientific problem of his time by Davis Oberl. I met Darwin once. But yeah, good book. Worth checking out if you're looking for something to read. It's a copy of Grimm Fairy Tales. Check that out. I'm pretty sure that I can't handle the truth either, and I'm happy to send it to anyone who thinks they can. But yeah, there's just acres and acres and acres of books here, various types and sorts and sizes and information. So it's a matter of spending some time and going through and getting it all sorted on bookcases, and then we can start sort of culling. I think it's going to be some culling. New World Order stuff. Take care, Paul. Good to see you. Can't wait for an update on your clock. Yeah, there's a guy named Freeman Fly. I think his stuff got taken down off the internet, but he had a podcast. Freeman Fly was, yeah, probably got. They probably locked him up and threw the K away. Actually, it was that kind of crazy. Do you have a high-speed rail near me? Yes. Like 40 meters away. Do you think Bill would read it if I sent him the book? It's certainly food for thought. Anyway, I'll probably call this too. It's getting a bit late, but thanks everyone for hanging around and for being good company and all that sort of stuff. The reality is that this is a crazy bottomless pit in here. And everyone says, show us your library, show us the progress. But there really isn't any. I'm just putting stuff away. I'm sorting stuff out and going through boxes and boxes and boxes of books and not really getting to the bottom of it. Yeah, the high-speed rail, I don't even hear it now, but it's like it's one every 16 minutes or something. This time of night, it's probably every 20 minutes. It's basically my window overlooks the back. Anyway, I'm probably going to say I'm out. Thanks for tuning in, and something a bit more interesting maybe next week. Maybe even some progress on some projects, an actual video up on something. But try not to jinx the project I'm working on by putting a video up too soon, because then I'll never get it finished. But I am shooting video, and I'll sort of try and compress it pretty well and upload it at some point. Anyway, good to see me. Here we go. Here's a shout out for probably the best shoes you'll find anywhere in the world. It's duckfeet.com. There you go. From Denmark. Mike from Cornwall, good day. Anyway, I'm out. Take care. Be kind to each other. Hey, everyone who's a new subscriber, you poor fish, but good to see you. And anyone who wants any of these random books or projects, I'm happy to post them on. Thanks. I'm gone.